The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, their guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirely without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group, copyright 2025. All rights are reserved.
The march to freedom is long, and it must continue to evolve.
Led by God and grounded in Scripture.
March to freedom must be righteous, with a focus on accountability and sustainability to ensure that we leave no man behind.
Have the courage to do the right thing and get yourself a red Bible.
As we unleash the minds, you can be confident that the revolution is alive, and we will continue to document it.
This is Freedom March.
This is Freedom March. Hello, happy Monday. Welcome to Freedom March. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Levan Miller. You're listening to us on channel 103.5, the Beat FM, channel 224, that's on cable, channel 112, that's on Flow, and of course on ILTV Studios on Facebook, where by now you should be following us. I am also going to invite you not just to follow us, but if you are on the broadcast, you should also be sharing the broadcast. So I want you know how y'all like to share everything else? Yeah, I want you to follow the page and then invite your friends to follow the page. And let them know Freedom March is on the air. So good to be back here this Monday. Listen to me, I have to tell you, Bradley Roll, the spiritual advisor, extraordinary and plenipotentiary, is with me. Bradley, welcome to Freedom March.
Thank you so much, Levan. Good to be here.
Yeah, busy weekend?
Good weekend, man.
Bradley, I had the
Excellent
wonderful
weekend.
opportunity to travel to the United States of America this weekend. And I want to say some things. One, I want to petition Donald Trump to pass law that Walmarts should go back to 24 hours.
They have some 24-hour ones, don't
No,
they changed that?
Yeah, they all close at 11 o'clock.
Even the super ones?
Yeah.
The super Walmarts?
It's horrible. I hate it, and I really want them to go back. I think that we should petition, Bahamians in particular, should petition the United States government. We ain't care what they do in Georgia or them other states, but within the entire state of Florida, all Walmarts have to go back to 24 hours.
Well, not all. The reality is...
The places Bahamians is go.
But they
Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando. Because, Bradley, it changes the shopping experience, man, that the shop is closed 11 o'clock.
Who wants to be in a shop after 11 o'clock?
Me. When I feel like killing time, I want to just go by Walmart. Because, do you know, every single time you go in a Walmart, you just have to pick up something. I don't care what it is, you have to pick up something. Every single time, right? And so that is my first petition. Secondly, I want to say that, Bradley, I got back through the airport today. I see these crazy people talking about Bahamas, they'll leave them stuck in Jamaica. I ain't listening to them. I can tell you one thing. Chairman Pratt. I know what they're doing down there. I don't know if it's the river dance or prayers or whatever they're doing. They have the same amount of plane, they have the same amount of pilot. But Bradley, I can tell you, praise the Lord, 2 times this month, Bahamas Air has far exceeded my expectations.
On time.
Man, day before time. I had to ask the woman this morning, I said, this Bahamas Air? She said, yeah. I said, y'all always just leave on time like this? She said, yeah. I said, well, when y'all start that? Bradley, they tell me that I would be in Nassau by midday, and Bradley by 11, must see 01. I said, well, come and see the hand of the Lord, eh?
Fill up box for all $30.
The new KFC Fill-Up Box, serving 6 juicy pieces of chicken, 4 buttery biscuits, crispy fries to share, and 12 premium original recipe KFC nuggets, all packed into one crave-worthy box. So dig in and do whatever the crunch you want with the KFC Fill-Up Box. Only at KFC, it's finger-licking good.
This is Freedom March. Hello, thank you for staying with us through the break. I'm Leland Miller. Bradley Rhodes, spiritual advisor extraordinary and plenipotentiary, is still with me. Bradley, I have no clue what happened just now.
Yeah, but that's
But
his thing.
this is how you know the show live.
Yeah.
See, for the people who keep saying to me, I don't feel like the show just be live. That's how you know the show live. Yeah. Because if the show wasn't live, I could have taken that piece out.
Yep.
I can't take that out because the show is live. Now, back to what I was saying, Bradley. So, I got to the airport this morning. Bahamas Air was phenomenal, right? And not just were they on time. I mean, from the baggage, I thought the little African accent fella was a little awkward this morning in Miami. I don't know. I mean, it's just me. I don't feel like he fits the culture. I don't know. Maybe it's just my jaundiced filter, expecting to hear the voice of a Bahamian when I fly Bahamas Air. I don't know. But hey, that's not a criteria because when you fly other airlines, you hear accents that are not necessarily.
Yeah, from.
I just really like hearing a Bahamian when I fly Bahamas Air. I don't know. So anyway, but outside of that, that was a bit off-putting. But right after that, I talking about the ticket counter, the check, everything was phenomenal. And I landed in Nassau, Bradley. I mean, the fella, I don't know, he must have been to landing school. Everybody else been to flying school. He been to landing school. I never see a plane touch the ground that's often on
Perfect, eh?
And so I get off the plane,
Jet.
and I get in the back, and I have to tell you, I always have great trepidation when it comes to going through airports, particularly coming back home, because I want to deal with the line, I know who I got run into, it's early in the morning, I hope the people at the customs eat their breakfast. But can I tell you, Bradley, I ran into a woman by the name of Miss King this morning from customs, senior customs officer. Her and a little customs girl, I don't remember her name, but whoever her little deputy was. But they were so nice to me. And they were just so welcoming and they were so pleasant. If anybody know the name of the little bright-skinned custom girl who was waking to the far, is that left kiosk this morning. Her and Miss King, they were working side by side. Fantastic service. I mean, they must have had breakfast this morning because they were just exceptional, Bradley. And they were so pleasant and so smiley. And the point I'm making is, I hate traveling. You know that about me?
No, I thought you liked that.
Absolutely. If you want to upset me, let me have to travel somewhere. Right? Like, I wish that I could just teleport to places because I can't do airports. Airports just give me like anxiety and raise my heart rate and all kind of crazy stuff, right? And you know the funny part about it is that every time I go through an airport, I wonder to myself, did I have any drugs in my bag? But there shouldn't be any drugs in my bag because I don't have any drugs. But I keep wondering that.
You can carry drugs if you want to.
Yeah, but where I get the drugs from?
Legal drugs, high pressure pills, things of that nature.
So anyway,
it's drugs.
So I just wanted to make sure that I start off this show today by saying,
What's the lady's name? Miss King?
Miss King. To the whole customs team this morning that was on, you all were fantastic. They should give you all an A. They were just so, well, hello, welcome to the Bahamas. I was like, but Jesus, I'm from here. And then to the whole Bahamas Air team that was on this morning, coming out of Miami, they were also fantastic, Bradley. Now, okay, I got one more petition to make and then let's go to the Holy Scripture. I want Michael Alkides them to stop charging tax to the airport, man. Everybody in here with a little calculator trying to do calculus and things like that when we reach. And you gotta do click to clear, and mama over there don't know how to click to clear. And
She can get assistance though.
she can. And can I tell you, that is what made Miss King and those so impressive to me because, Bradley, I did forget how to sign into my click to clear. I ain't really been away like that. I mean, I've been all through the Bahamas and the Caribbean. I ain't been to America. When I come back from the Caribbean, the only thing I buy you can't put in the bag. But anyway, when I come back, I had to remember to do the little click to clear thing. And she said, come, I could see you look like you having a hard time. But what I'd like Michael Alkides to do, because Michael Alkides is a very forward-thinking person, right? Mike, hear me out. Big Mike. You mind if I call him Big Mike?
He's the revenue guy,
Big Mike,
man.
let me explain this to you, right? We could just move this whole customs section in the airport, have one line for tourists. If they come in, we could take some money from them maybe. But these people, we look like we having the maths BGCSE in this airport in the morning, everybody trying to tally up. And I just think we could move that. Because we live in a country where we manufacture nothing. And if you didn't pay your plane ticket, and you didn't rent car, and you didn't buy gas, and you didn't do all this stuff, to go pick up one little $600 or $700 worth of clothes or the Walmart, man, I think you should be in the airport practicing calculus, trying to come back to figure out what you owe the Bahamas government. Plus, it's difficult to separate these things on the receipt. The exempted stuff, the things that ain't exempt. Man, don't put people through
complicated, eh?
Yeah, so next year, Big Mike, when the PLP win the election again, or right before y'all win the election again, let me tell you what the promise people. Tell them, and the PLP is going to make airports duty free. Michael, I telling you, Bahamians are going to show up in mass to vote for the PLP. All right.
And then they're going to have to find a way to make up the revenue if they do that, because it's part of the government's revenue.
Bradley, it ain't no way the government could be collecting no bunch of money from the airport if all these people in here come to lie.
You know,
if everyone in here come to lie, how much money could they possibly be making?
Well, they make it easier for you now, but by giving you the $300 exemption. Is it $300 now?
$500.
$500 now. Oh,
Die
wow.
enough. Die enough.
Oh, that's plenty, man.
Enough. Die enough.
That's quite a
Mother
bit.
behind me had 6 bags. It ain't no way. It ain't no way that could be enough for mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, if Bradley Roll is here, that means we got some more. So that's my last petition, Bradley. What my 2 petitions is? Petition number 1, I want to petition who?
Michael Akitas.
That's petition number 2, Bradley. Stay with me.
Okay.
Petition number 1 is I want to petition Donald Trump.
Man, you just have me like I'm in some kind of school. I don't remember what
I
the
need you
names
to
you
stay with me,
man,
Bradley.
come on, man.
Petition number 1
I've
is
been
me
in school a long
petitioning
time, man.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump called the Waltz family, tell them
What are you dealing with?
we, by an act of petition, are requiring, if not demanding, that they keep the Walmart them open.
Yeah, but see,
24/7.
Donald Trump don't own Walmart, and then these people, the folks who've decided not to have Walmart open 24 hours, did a feasibility study.
They don't care about the
and
culture.
economics. Here's the point: how many people will be coming into store from 11 in the night to 6
But they've
o'clock in the
now
morning?
created chaos in these parking lots. And you can't find them. Walmart used to be such a wonderful experience. I could go up, park right to the door. You know what I mean? Mosey through the... It ain't like y'all could cut the fridge them off. When y'all close the building, these fridges still could be on.
You got to petition the Waltons, okay?
I want this, the Walton or the Waltz?
The Waltons.
Okay, well, whatever they mean.
They own Walmart.
Well, Donald Trump, give them whatever tax exemption they want. Just let them keep the Walmart
You
open.
got to cut costs, man.
I listening to you.
Expenses
What does the
are
Holy
up.
Scripture have to say? And what my second petition is?
Michael Akitas and this exemption thing.
To make all airports of entry tax-free. Because that could play right into the
Duty-free.
culture. Yeah, duty-free. Yeah. Because if you done been in... Because, you know, these shipping company acting like people ain't got visa. Right? When they mark up these things on these shipping company, I have to ask, y'all know I have a visa in my passport, right? You know you're going to the same America I going to, right? Why you mark up that high? But then, I see the people them coming through the airport. One fella, like, he had a scientific calculator trying to calculate this duty behind me. I say, Jesus, this is something special. Michael Halkey just have to deliver the people from that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bradley, tell me what does the Holy Scripture have to say to us?
Producer, did I send something to you already? I believe it's Colossians 1:15. Yeah. Now, the supremacy of the Son of God. I watched a clip about a week ago. I think they're saying that Geno Jennings was in the Bahamas.
Yeah, he was. I'm surprised you didn't go to that. He said 2 Sundays
Mind
ago.
you, I got an invitation to come and speak with Geno Jennings, but apparently they sent this young man to have some sort of debate on whether or not Jesus Christ was God, if he was the Son of God. Did he have the same exact representation of God? Was he God in the flesh? Was he God in the spirit? All that yada yada. So, what happens if you don't do proper study and you go to Geno Jennings' setting? Geno Jennings is going to make you look bad, okay? So this is the second time he came to Bahamas, and he embarrassed some of our so-called biblical students. This young guy, Geno Jennings, just made him look so silly. I felt so sorry for him. But here's my advice to him. You have to study carefully before you go to Geno Jennings. Other than that, he's going to make you look terrible. And he did that for the second time. The first time he did it to dames, elder dames, made elder dames look like a schoolboy. And this young fellow went to a fight with a big man and, of course, lost it. So the supremacy of Jesus is easily explained right in the same passage right here. If you don't have a red Bible, you won't see it. And I think the young man, unfortunately, didn't carry his red Bible to Geno Jennings, and he lost his battle. So here's what we're going to do today. We're going to read these verses, and we're going to look at a few words. There's a term out there that this young man to my left understands very, very accurately. The word is etymology. Mm-hmm. If you want to know the meaning of a word, you have to go back to its original language so that you can understand the meaning of it, all right? So in Colossians 1, verse number 15 through 20, here's what it says about Jesus. It says the Son is the image of the invisible God. We're going to look at this Greek word image to see what it means. The firstborn over all creation. We're going to go to the Greek and we're going to look up this word firstborn. For in him all things were created. That's something to note. Things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities, all things have been created through him and for him. He is before all things. Jesus Christ is before all things, and in him all things hold together. Hit me, producer. And he is the head of the body, the church. He is the beginning and the firstborn from among the dead. That's another word you need to go and look up in the Greek. What does this word firstborn, this context mean? He's the beginning and the firstborn from among the dead. So that everything he might have, there's the word, that he may have the supremacy. For God was pleased to have all his fullness dwell in him, and through him to reconcile to himself all things, whether things on the earth or things in heaven, by making peace through his blood shed on the cross. That gives you a full account of who Jesus Christ really, really was. And there's no shortcut. And nothing is missing in this passage. So before you go to Geno Jennings, this is a passage you must understand if you're going to advance an argument as to who exactly was Jesus Christ. And no doubt, Jesus Christ was God himself in human flesh. Go back for me, producer. What's the Greek word, if you want to, I don't know if ChatGPT would have, what is the Greek word for image in Colossians 1 and verse 15? Because guess what?
That's chat. What is the Greek word for what?
Image. Image. In Colossians 1 and 15. Because the Bible describes Jesus being the image of the invisible God. So if you can't see God, the Son is the image. So what does this word image mean? Now when you go into a mirror, what do you see? You see an image of yourself. So you must ask yourself this: who's in that mirror? It's you. It's an image of you. If I'm not mistaken, this word here, in referring to Jesus Christ, this Greek word for image is the exact representation.
That's not Greek.
What's the Greek word for
I thought
image?
you were going to speak Greek just now. That sounded like English.
No, what I'm saying that when you look up the word image in the Greek, the actual meaning of the Greek word translated to English is exact representation. So when you look in the mirror, you're going to see an image. And the image you're going to see is an image of yourself.
So the Greek word is eikon.
E-I something, right?
E-I-K-O.
Yeah.
What is this? Tilde? Is this
O-N?
a tilde? O-N, yeah.
Yeah.
And the meaning of the word eikon means image, likeness, or representation. It conveys the idea of a visible manifestation or exact representation of something that is invisible or abstract.
That's the point.
So if something is invisible, how do you have an exact representation of it if it is invisible? Like,
Because
what does the breeze look like?
See, and that's where the divide comes. Because we're on the physical side, we can't connect what's on the spiritual side, because God is a spirit. So in order for God to manifest himself to mankind, he did various things. And in this case, in order to show himself to the world, he took on human flesh and dwelt with mankind in the person of Jesus Christ. So Colossians 1, 15 to 20, when you read it carefully and examine the etymology of the words used, you would find that Jesus Christ was actually God clothed in human flesh. And the young man who went to Geno Jennings, I felt so sorry for him. His reality, though, is that he hadn't checked the scriptures carefully before he confronted Geno Jennings with his argument. But there's the argument, there's the answer. Colossians 1:15-20. Look, go to the Greek. The New Testament original language is not English, and I think that's where we make our biggest mistake when we don't understand certain passages and the words that are used in them. You have to go back to the original language to get the meaning of the word, and then you can make it applicable when you present your arguments. Was Jesus Christ God? Yes. Was he God in the flesh? Yes. Was he the Son of God? Yes. Was he a prophet? Yes. Was he priest? Yes. Was he king? Yes. Was he savior? Yes. Was he? The Bible describes Jesus in various ways, getting you to understand his various sides and characteristics. Was he the anointed one? Yes. Was he the savior of the world? Yes. The Bible is very clear on these things. Thank you so much, producer. Colossians 1:15-20. I read from the NIV. The word of God is always best. Indeed.
So I'm just making sure we aren't having a Freudian slip of the tongue here. I think the word you're looking for is epistemology.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? What is
an epistemology?
Yeah,
E-P-I-S-T-E-M-O. Right.
Okay.
So you kept saying etymology.
Yeah.
It is...
What does that mean?
The epistemology of a word is... The epistemology is the definition, is the branch of philosophy concerned with knowledge, its nature, its source, its limits, and the validity. It focuses on what knowledge is, how we acquire it, and what counts. That actually fits.
I think that
debating whether scientific evidence or personal experience is a more reliable source. That actually fits your scenario essay. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I'm making sure that we're not...
Etymology.
Yes. So I'm saying...
See, etymology, which is E-T-Y-M-O-L-O-G-Y, is the study of the origin and history of words, including their meanings and how they have changed.
What is that?
Over
Etymology?
Time. Etymology. E-T-Y-M-O-L-O-G-Y.
You're missing a word. You're missing a letter.
E-T-Y-M-O-L-O-G. I was wondering what that mean you was given.
But the epistemology is also not wrong.
But this is the word I'm looking for here. E-T-Y-M-O-L-O-G-Y.
So an etymology explores word origin, root meanings, evolution,
right, that's what I'm
cultural influence.
Right.
Okay.
So when you go to your Bible study and you come across
but you could also use the epistemology because
I don't want to use that.
I'm just saying.
Because I want to
so the
focus on
epistemology
word
would say,
meaning.
how do we know this thing? We know because we've studied the root word from the etymology of the word. You follow me?
You always want to throw things
I'm
off.
not, Jesus, I
can tell you,
know.
that you wasn't listening to them people when you went to the Church of God, man. They wasn't teaching the right thing.
What?
Anyhow.
Man, don't make me break out in a Holy Ghost praise in here, yeah? I'm trying to help you. I'm just saying.
Okay, we got it.
The tween can walk together in unity, eh? I see we got the jingle fixed. Don't move. That means Freedom March is going to be right back after this break.
This is Freedom March.
This is Freedom March. Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us through that break. I'm Levan Miller. Believe it or not, Chef Simeon Hall, the Ayatollah of rock and roller, is here with me. Chef, welcome back to Freedom March.
Thank you so much.
You like the title?
Yeah.
I tell you, I give out titles all about the place left and right. Bradley is the spiritual advisor.
You need to give a title to the shirt.
What you talking about?
What you call this?
Isn't it just
Arts
fantastic?
and crafts.
It's just fantastic.
I should have had that for the Bahamas Culinary and Art Festival we just had. That would have fit right in.
I like to make them dizzy with it.
Yeah.
Chef. I want them to figure it out.
Well, we gotta figure it out for sure.
Yeah, to the side and looking at it. So what's been going on? Let's talk a little bit about the food festival that just went by.
Oh man, it was amazing.
Yeah. I told you. I don't know whether or not you and Elon, not Elon Musk, but Elon, are in cahoots. But somehow every time I click onto my social media, bam, there it is, the Arts and Cultural Festival.
This is what we do for a living, so we try to make sure that we capitalize on it.
The same thing happened with the opening of lobster season.
Yeah.
Action Jackson is still
Trending.
popping up on my algorithm. I don't understand how.
Somebody asked me about that 2 days ago, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
he's
saw
still
it.
trending.
So we're doing pretty well. I'm super excited about, some of the movement, especially when it pertains to, a resort like Bahama, putting on a show like that it was so all-inclusive. And from the art, where we had so many people represented there, and then we had Lenny Kravitz doing one of his first major shows on Bahamian soil.
I also didn't know that people were still Lenny Kravitz. Man,
Oh man.
I obviously live in a bubble somewhere.
Lenny's music transcends words. So I guarantee you half of us didn't know the words.
Right.
But we knew the rhythm. We knew the vibe.
Yeah.
And the sound and the stage was absolutely amazing. It was world class. And so people was vibing.
And white people like him.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
Everybody.
most times you hear music out of the Caribbean, right?
Yeah.
You hear, no woman will cry.
No, we was
Or something with a little, jump up your body.
No.
Wake up. No, but Lenny is out there with a
Hardcore. Lenny had on a gold blouse.
Yeah.
So he didn't come to play. And what made it exceptional was he performed for almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
So he wasn't in no rush.
No.
And so people got their money's worth, and then you put in food with that, and it was an absolutely amazing weekend.
Yeah. I see the guest list was also pretty decent, and some of the who's were there. Who
Yeah, man, for
all
sure.
did you have slide through?
Well, Chef Marcus, Chef Carla, Amanda, Manit, who is a firecracker. And then we had one of the twins. She co-hosted with me, and that was absolutely brilliant because she talked about her Bahamian background.
Okay.
And so, again, not because I'm a participant, not because I think Bahama does a really, really brilliant job with their food and beverage and their art, which is, if I'm not mistaken, 100% local. And John Cox does an amazing job with that. But it was just a spectacular show. And this being the fourth iteration, the fourth year, you could tell. Sometimes you go to these events and they could either be going down or just flat.
Yeah.
This one you could definitely tell that it's getting better, bigger and better.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I gotta get on the invite list, Chef. I don't know how I missed the invite list.
One thing
I
about
was
my
thinking I was
friends.
big time. Here I was thinking I was
One
big
thing
time.
about my friends, they like to call me 26 minutes before the event, not 24 hours.
But
26 minutes.
it's because okay, so here is one of the downsides to being so close to the talent, right?
Right.
You keep thinking to yourself, I gotta call Chef about that thing.
Yeah,
I
for
gotta
sure.
call Chef about that thing.
100%.
And then
And that's what everybody is saying.
right, and then you say, what's the day? Oh,
There you go.
The thing today.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then 26 minutes before, you get a call and say, hey, you ain't got no more ticket?
Yeah.
And I didn't give away the stasher ticket in I
Yeah,
tell people all the time, it's 3 sets of tickets.
Yeah.
It's a ticket for sale, the ticket you just keep in your back pocket, and then the
ticket with your stash on the side. That was gone.
Yeah,
By the
absolutely.
time you got.
And I, you know, so I'm a Grammys boy. You know that about me, right?
Yeah.
I always tell my friends, you gotta just give me ticket and my Grammys give them to me, right? So my Grammy the ticket would just show up to my house.
And that's it. Just
Right.
leave it there.
Right.
Okay, well.
So she's sure I got the ticket.
All right.
Now, the day after the day of the event, she called, whether I participated or not, she called and said, hey, I calling but them ticket. And so now the onus is upon me to don't forget these tickets.
Right.
Because, you know, Steako tickets are against my religion. I do not buy Steako tickets.
Okay.
It is against my religion, and I don't need to discuss my religion. To do things in life you never need to discuss with anyone is your religion or your sexuality.
Right.
Well, I'm happy to talk to you as openly as possible about my sexuality. I am not prepared to talk about my religious views, and among them is it is against my religion to buy Steako tickets. It is also against my religion to have adult cousins that I didn't grow up with. Yeah, so cousins is against my religion.
Well, there you go.
Don't come tell me nothing about me and Auntie Titty. And I know what all my cousins' name. They name Wendy, Toya, Koya, Naro, Mel. You understand?
Said you grew up with.
Yeah. Don't come tell me, but I Uncle Fifi, Grand.
Yeah.
My brother. It's against my religious belief, okay?
Okay, well,
and so now we can't be cousins. You get to leave me alone. I get to continue doing whatever I was doing.
Well, you know, what I'll do, you know, if I'm fortunate enough to be invited next year, God's willing, I'll make sure you get a pair of passes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I need two because, you know, so often.
That's why I say a pair.
Yeah, because you gotta travel with yourself.
Yeah, I don't want you to have your plus one. Everybody needs a plus one these days.
Boy. Yeah. So I traveled this morning. I don't know if you heard me earlier. Chef, I know that you are a culinary ambassador, but I believe step one to any ambassadorial role is travel and the ease of travel.
Right.
Chef, can I tell you this? There was a time, I have to confess this. Put me on the camera. I have to confess this. There was a time that I don't care if Bahamas Air was throwing ticket off the bridge. Leaving wasn't going on that. All right? I don't care if they was handing these out to early Sunday morning mass. I only come here for the communion. Y'all keep the Bahamas Air ticket. There was a time that I swore that if Southwest couldn't carry me, I won't go. But praise the Lord, I've been converted. I have to tell you, last month, they flew me into Orlando, Chef, in the hurricane. In the hurricane. And they assured me, you're not sleeping in America tonight. Bahamas Air is on its way. And I treat them like how the WARS treat the last class. You know how the WARS treat the last class? You ever notice that the bee could fly and so can the WARS? The bee could sting and so could the WARS. The bee could pollinate and so could the WARS. What the WARS can do?
What it can do?
Make honey. So the rumor is, right, that the WARS and the bee was attending the school together. When they find it, they get a WARS to fly in school, he get A. They send him to sting in school, he get A. They send him to pollination school, he get A. The teacher comes in the class that morning and say, okay, class, for our final lesson, we'll be learning how to make honey. The WARS say, yeah. And leave the class. And so today, the WARS look like the bee, sting like the bee, fly like the bee, buzz like the bee, pollinate plants like the bee. But the WARS can't make honey, right? So I treated them like how the WARS treated the last class. Yeah. Gone, dilly-dally in a boat. Next thing I know, they say, boy, the plane on the ground. I say, the plane on which ground? They say, the plane here. I say, in Orlando. Hold the plane, tell them I coming. So, Chef, they got me out of there. And it was actually at the point that I had already given up hope that they would come back. I didn't think they would come back. But this morning, I said, now, the woman then cursed me when she see me coming off the plane going into Miami. She say, when Monday come, I don't care what happened to you. You make sure you be back on the TV. And I promised Mama, I said, yes, Mama, I could be there. This morning I get to the airport, I said, now, Lord, I know you still have like the war in the Gaza Strip going on. We ain't cool off everything yet with Ukraine them. And Lord, I hear they say the Dolphins still praying to make it to the Super Bowl. So I know you got that line busy. What to do though? See if you could help me out. you know what I used to do to activate Gordon, right? I say, this choice boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I show off my prayer go week. This choice boy. I need the plane to be on time. On time is a joke. Day before time, chef. And so I don't care who you got ticket for. Throw them away. You need to go on Bahamas Air, my brother. And so they got me there. They give me water. I said, what is this? When they land me, I mean like Greece. They land me like Greece, chef. I said, this has to be a hoax. Then I got to the airport, and again, I mean, the whole airport, I don't know what they give them airport people this morning. Everybody was just so, and the reason I'm going through this is because, you know, a lot of times you hear about what's negative in the country and what's happening negative.
Right.
But there are some people that wake up out of their bed every morning, chef, committed to making sure that the product is what it is we sell on the flyer.
Right.
From the greeter. I thought the greeting was interesting, right? He said, hello, everybody, come this way, use the kiosk. That's your tax-paying dollars at Wake. Which I thought, that in itself was fantastic. I was like, well, now that I think about it that way, I agree with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so got downstairs, ran into Miss King from Customs. I was trying to figure out this little click to key. I think he said, I know the password is, and they called me over. They said,
come on.
Chef,
I think some of the automated platforms that we have, they work really, really well.
No. It worked very well.
Yeah.
You just have to remember your password. You have to start with that.
That's you got an iPhone, so I wouldn't.
No, I have a Samsung.
Oh.
But anyway, so that went very smooth. So I had to say, I wanted to say.
And now you're here.
Now I'm here.
And thanks be to the people at Bahamas Air.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not
Customs.
I'm not converted yet, but I
No, Chef, I can't sit here and let you say that.
I'll
Tanya
hold on a
Pratt
little
them
bit.
over there healing the sick, my brother, and raising the dead. Yeah, they causing the lame to walk over there by Bahamas Air. You still ain't invited?
I ain't converted yet.
My friend, go get you a ticket for Bahamas Air.
I ain't converted yet.
Wow, it's fantastic.
So, we'll have to see.
Chef, it's magical.
Well,
Take my
good
word
job.
for it.
Good
Take
job,
my word for it.
Bahamas,
Yeah. And so, there's a lot of things that's been happening.
A lot.
I see there's a by-election.
Yep.
Yeah. The candidates have all been nominated, so they're in fact candidates now, because, you know, before nomination day, they're all just prospective. Yeah. They're nominated, which means they're all candidates. I said there are 4 candidates that are going to contest the seat. There's 1 independent. There's 1. It's just a happy divide. An independent. Yeah. All of the major parties are represented, so so the people of Golden Isle can run the full gamut. Right. However, it seems as though the forerunner appears to be tripping himself down a little bit. He's kind of stumbling over his own words. And I'm not shocked, right? Because I said when they interviewed the guy the first time that someone should reel him in and talk to him about talking. Because, Chef, people believe talking is easy, and it's not.
Yeah.
Right? So what he said was, he's passionate about service. He wants to serve. And I said that I thought that was scatterbrained to say, if you are already sitting in the Senate and you are already an executive chairman of a food securing arm of the government, what more service could you offer to any country, particularly one that doesn't feed itself, than to be the executive chairman of the people who just grow the onion? Yeah? But
well, I guess
PLB's wanted to throw hot water on me to say that.
I guess there's a different kind of service. But again, you know, hopefully we see in this by-election more of what, that I'm absolutely advocating, which is people who are more grassroots politicians, actual politicians, than people who are just put in a place to be in a political space that it's the first time that they're acting in that capacity.
Right.
So that is where I think where we have the issue. So hopefully with these 4 candidates, we can see some people, or we get that sort of involvement where these people have been long awaiting that opportunity because that's what they've been doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know, I always say to you, Chef, that your first engagement with public life cannot be
No.
as a public as an elected public official.
No, he can't.
What did you do? Did you help a cat out of the tree at some point? Did
That's
you
what I
walk an
keep
old lady
saying.
across the road
Something.
at some point? Like, what is
Yeah.
your Bodine Johnson said this to me about 15 years ago. She said, stop trying to do everything, Levin. Figure out what is your one thing.
Right.
Do that one thing,
Right.
and then let that thing be your claim to fame.
Right. Right.
Right? These fellas have no thing.
Yeah, we definitely need to be a little bit more aware of the people who are representing us, making the policies. These policies are life impacting
Yes.
changes.
Yes, absolutely.
And so we need to definitely take them a little bit more serious, hold their foot to the fire a little bit more, and make sure that these ladies and gentlemen are representing us wholeheartedly, and not just because it is an appointment. It should be a calling. It should be something that, again, what you've basically been doing now. You and I sort of go back and forth on whether or not the person should be from the area or
Right.
have some ties to the area.
Right.
But in its least, you should at least be somebody who is already a very diligent public servant and somebody who is community oriented
Right.
and doing that stuff already.
And so I had people say to me, and I'm not picking on Darren, but I see that the news cycle has him. We'll look at some of what some of the news houses have had to say about him. If what they are reporting is correct, I can entirely get it, right? If you are a part of the government or the governing body, I mean, they're just certain things you can't say.
Right.
Right. So if you see neglect, you can't say
Yeah.
that the place has been neglected. But you can say is
You got a different take on what's happening.
we
Yeah.
realize
Yeah.
the status of this community.
Yeah.
And I assure you
Yeah.
that more is being done in
Yeah.
the shortest possible time
Yeah.
to adjust what it is the people of Golden Isles is feeling.
Because who neglect the people? It's
You.
You all do it.
You're a neglectful boy. That's what's wrong with
Yeah, you can see. But again, we've had this conversation too in the past, where people are in a public space, in a public setting, representing, parties, brands, etc. You got to know what to say, and you got to know how to say it, and you got to take good counsel.
Yeah.
But that ain't no good counsel, because again, as long as you have a inkling of intelligence, the question have to be, but who neglect them?
Step number one to being in public life, I say this all the time. First of all, turn your megalomania, turn it down. You're not as smart as you think you are.
Right.
You're probably not smart at all.
Right.
You're probably likable and affable and amenable and congenial, and so people will elect you.
Right.
But you probably couldn't say Peter Piper pick a pack of pickled peppers without tripping yourself down.
Yeah, because unfortunately, in today's world, a lot of people elect charisma
Correct.
over intelligence,
And that's fine,
everything
because
else.
we don't want to look at the.
Yeah, but that's
as-
only partially fine.
Agreed,
That
but
can't be the
you
whole
can't sell me a message that I won't listen to.
Yeah.
So I would rather listen to 1 hour of Donald Trump on the TV, believe it or not, than 1 hour of Joe Biden on the TV.
But still, let's not even get into that lane.
I'm
'cause
just
that's
saying.
something to-
So we need somebody who we could package the message in well enough,
Yeah.
or who's able to deliver it well enough that we
Yeah.
want to listen to it. First
But
step.
then there needs to be substance after it's all said and done.
Sure.
When you're sitting down and making policy that is going to impact my kids who ain't
Correct.
even born yet, I need you to have some
No,
depth.
we agree there. Right?
I need you to have some depth.
Step one, turn down the machismo. You're really not that brilliant. Step two, find someone that cares about you. Not these bunch of fellas that y'all keep letting blow steam in y'all sphincter. And now we got hell keeping you on the ground because you keep floating away,
Yeah.
because all you full up is a bunch of
Yeah.
hot air.
Yeah.
There is no way everything you say could be brilliant.
No.
If the people around you keep saying, oh yeah, that was wonderful. Oh, yeah, man, chef, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Cuss them out and run them.
Yeah.
All of them. Because you need to be able to have some people that will tell you, chef, that have to be the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Right.
We should really look at revising that.
Yeah.
That
And-
will help you.
But that's where you have the balance, and that's when you know you're having good counsel and you're around good people.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never had a fight with nobody, who you call close, that ain't really a close person.
That's my point.
So you have to really look at it. And, you know, again, like I see in the political landscape that's going on now globally, my issue is now that, you know, you lose credibility when you take a lie and try to make it a truth.
Yeah.
And so when
But
you are
perspective
telling
is
the
huge.
truth, yeah, but still though.
Perspective is huge.
Yeah, but you have to also be very, very careful so that people will say, you know what? That's somebody who says when the PLP is right, they say they're right. When they're wrong, they say they're wrong.
Sure.
That person has more credibility than the person who they always right or they always wrong.
Sure.
Nothing on the planet is
Yeah.
always right or always wrong.
Except for a Bahamian wife.
Well,
Yeah.
nothing on the planet is always right and always wrong.
The third thing you should do is turn down your own voice in your head a little bit. And somebody comes glaringly to my mind when I think about it. Hear criticism, because criticism tells you what people think about you.
Right.
It doesn't matter what you think about you. Yeah? You could do that at home. Look in the mirror and say, I is smart, I is nice, I is important. You do that when you get home, right? You remember Cool Runnings? Look in the mirror, Junior Bevel. Tell me what you see. I see pride. I see power. I can't say the rest on TV. But do that at home.
Right.
When people tell you, boy, chef, every day you come out and you got on this beaded chain and I don't know, people ain't really sure what's going on with you, it might be good to do a little, you know, documentary on where the beaded chains come from
Yeah.
to help people out a little bit, because people a little iffy
Right.
about their spirituality, and fellas will make sure you ain't coming in here with bad chakra, right?
Right.
You can't say, oh no, bad chakra, all the chefs before me used to wear gold chain. What was the difference between the gold? See, my brother, you can't do that, because it matters in public life.
Well, let's make sure that
What
I was just
people
going to say
think.
that. I was just going to say that. Make sure you put in quotation marks public life.
Oh, yes.
When you're in the area of leadership, guidance, requesting people to follow you, etc., that has to be a part of it. But the best leader is somebody who first knows and understands greatly how to serve.
Sure.
And so that's where a big part of this jump is that we're talking about. What is your background? Where did you learn servitude? What are you, what makes you somebody that we want to follow? And I don't think we've had those sorts of discussions in a very long time. I'm waiting and hoping that before I leave this earth, there will be at least one time where we have a public debate amongst our candidates, just so that we can have an open forum of discussion and dialogue on what is to come. Some sort of lens into your thought processes, etc., etc. Unfortunately, here, the only time you hear about what they want to do or thinking about doing when they get on the podium, and that quickly goes from telling me what your policies and plans are
To rally talk.
yeah,
To rally
exactly,
talk.
rhyming and singing reggae and all kind of craziness.
Yeah.
'Cause,
I'll never forget
you know,
when Ingram said,
come on.
South Andres, I love you all so much, I wrote you all a poem.
See that?
Roses are red, violets are blue. When it comes to Andres, Ingram take it too.
See that?
And the people say, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
And I say, what?
And so, you know,
didn't say anything.
I was talking to my dad the other day, and I told him, I have two chairs waiting inside my house. One for me and one for the candidate when they come around.
Yeah.
Sit right there, let's talk.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna get away with no bringing no quick engagement.
A pamphlet?
Here. Sit right here.
A pamphlet that they probably haven't
sir.
read.
No, I let's talk. Let me hear what your game plan is, what's your proposals, etc., etc. And that's what we need from our candidates these days.
So I see that there was a quote floating around by the Progressive Liberal Party candidate, and it said, where's the quote? I'm going to find it for you. Here it is. It said, my opponent, this is the PLP's candidate. My opponent is making a case for how long he has been around Golden Isles and how long he has been in his party. But for all of the years, my reluctant opponent claims he has under his belt, he has yet to show us an iota, a scintilla, of any change or transformation that he has led or caused to happen for the good people of Golden Isles and the Bahamian people.
Great.
You ain't gonna believe me when I tell you this?
What's that?
Golden Isles is a PLP seat. What should he have been doing? Other than trying to convince the people to come for the effort.
I mean, yes and no. But it goes back to what I'm saying. You don't need a stamp of approval from any particular party to be a community activist or oriented.
Agreed.
So maybe that is what the inference is. And so what I'm saying is, for example, I'm not officially a Bahamian culinary ambassador.
No, we ain't make you an ambassador at large.
Don't even get me started on that. Because that's
an ambassador at large.
You know, that ain't nothing official. But based on what I do, how I feel, what I represent, and how I am so proud of what the Bahamas has to offer in the global matrix of food culture, then that's what I do. So if I were to get an official title behind it now, it wouldn't be a shock to most people.
Sure.
And so that's what I think Canada Sea is.
And all I'm saying is that someone should whisper into the air of Mr. Pinkston that first of all, you're already ahead in the race. Your party is the governing party.
Right.
Your message should be more about the progress.
Right.
The process of progress and how you've come to help that process go along smoothly.
Yeah.
Not to beat up on a fella that's been in opposition. Don't move, Freedom March. I'll be right back after this.
This is Freedom March.
Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us through the break. I'm Levan Miller. The Ayatollah of rock and roller, Chef Simeon Hall.
Oh boy, I tell you.
That's what's happening when you're big time, Chef. When you're big
Well,
time,
you know.
you gotta have a big time title. And, you know,
I tried my very best.
do you know the name of the 4 candidates?
The 4 candidates? No, actually.
Isn't that amazing? And you're a guy that's in
Yeah,
in the
you
social
know.
space.
Yeah, but you know.
The reason I asked, right, is because I'm trying to figure out how much of it is going to simply come down to the leader of the parties going and saying, listen, Simeon is my man. I need Simeon. I need Simeon in order to get done what I doing.
Yeah.
Which would be foolishness, right? Because if Simeon died, then what?
Yeah.
And we know that you could die because the last fella died, right?
Yeah.
Send me Simeon. That ain't enough for me. It also ain't enough for me to say, well, he's a lawyer. Because, and Hemi, Chef Simeon Hall is a chef.
Mm-hmm.
If all you had done was gone in the kitchen and cook till you die, you would have done well. You've done well by your measurement as a chef. But you have to think about the more. What is the more that you have done that is outside of your credentialed capacity?
Right.
Right? Because that is how greatness in the world is begotten. People who Thomas Edison, when he created the light bulb, could have just keep lighting a candle. Everybody else was lighting a candle. Lighting candle wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But by candlelight, I suppose, he began to draft a formula for more. There should be an insatiable crave for more. So always, especially by people who aspire to public life. Here is why. Because when you aspire to public life, you have consented that your life is not your own, and that what you want to do is you want to take your life and make that a sacrifice so that other people's lives could have an improvement in quality. That is what public life means, essentially.
So was the announcement that the person is a lawyer, was that supposed to be a plus?
Apparently, when I ask, what has this guy done? People say, well, he's a lawyer.
Wow.
But you hear that all the time. I'm not making this specific to Darren. I'm saying that people say, oh, he's a lawyer. And I don't know if we live in a world where that is enough to qualify for anything.
That'll be, and plus we have enough
too much. We have too much of them.
You know, one of the things that I wish we would do at such a small country, such a small and young country, is for us to at least explore different alternatives for us to get to where we need to get. Mm-hmm. And part of that is not following these norms that, you know, we believe that we need to follow. What a lawyer could do in certain instances?
Nothing.
Only thing they read plenty.
Yeah.
And they get at this and that, but what that have to do with agriculture?
And that doesn't naturally translate into...
That's what I'm saying. So come on, man.
You read it, that don't mean you know how to do it.
But again, you know, if the Bahamas could just for 2 times, let's look at 2 times where we could look at national issues rather than just politicize and partisan everything, then I think we'll be such an amazing place.
And don't get me wrong. I think that this administration, this and the one that preceded it, had a pretty decent mixed bag of talent. Right?
You've seen a difference.
Right.
Because prior to that, it was all lawyers.
All lawyers, right. So they have a pretty decent mixed bag of talent. The problem is, though, I think, and we see this particularly in areas like law enforcement and probably health, is when you get a guy that knows too intimately the system, it is difficult for him to not get in the way because he continues trying to go backwards, right?
Yeah.
So you're minister, but you keep trying to be commissioner. You know what I mean? And you have to understand that the power is similar. The function is different, though, right? So as commissioner, you tell 1,000 men, stand up, and they stand. As minister, you have the power to tell the commissioner, tell them 1,000 people stand up.
Right.
Here is where it becomes a problem, though. The minute you do that, it becomes political interference.
Right. Because now you're supposed to be the one telling them why they should be standing.
No, you should say the government's policy is that we are going to have 1,000 standing officers.
That's what I'm saying.
Then the commissioner of police is supposed to come and say, sir, we're not gonna do
and
1,000.
execute.
We're gonna do 700.
Yeah.
And then your job is to come back and say, and the commissioner is running a scaled approach to this initiative.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we'll have 700 standing, and by Saturday we'll have 1,000 standing
I
people.
only wish and pray for the betterment of our entire country, that some of these things from some of these people that we can kind of amalgamate and make us a better place. We need longer policies. It can't be if you change next week it change, or you wait until it get later to ring in the bell and all these other stuff. We got to do a little bit better than we doing wholeheartedly so that we could come out on top. And saying that it's a lawyer, or saying that, you know, some of these things that you hear when people running, it ain't getting us nowhere. We need people who are already off the record, working for the record, and doing these things so that we can get to where we need to be. And we need Bahamians, more Bahamians, who will hold them to that. And it can't just be you waiting to hear who can put on the best chant when they come to the arena.
Yeah.
And more fire, and all these other things. Ain't nobody want to hear that.
You don't like
we
more
can't
fire?
take that. We can't take that to moving the country forward, man. Let's think a little bit more so that we can go a little bit further. Simple as that.
So let's talk about some things that have been pressing. I see that there was a white man, who was charged for some arm and ammunition, smuggling through the country. A white rich man, nonetheless. Charged, paid a fine, or convicted, made to pay a fine.
Right.
And I mean, for as long as the Bahamas exists, those challenges will exist. They will not go anywhere.
Right.
Right? I think those are the kind of things you should be asking people when they come to your door. Like, for instance, right? Sebastian Bastian is the candidate for Charlotte.
Right.
It would behoove me if the only thing people asking this smart boy for is a stove. No, because he's proven that his mind can create.
Yeah.
He has a creator's mind.
Right.
If the only thing you want from him is shingle,
Things.
you
Whatever you
you
say,
ain't
things.
making sense.
Right. Exactly.
Because collectively, what you should be permitting him to do is consider policy.
Right.
Because his brain has proven to us that he has the ability
He's created it before.
He has the ability to look at policy, figure out why it's not working, and make it work.
So then, see, this is where I now just got this light bulb moment.
Yeah. Is this
For
like
me
the
to-
Spirit of the Lord?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm now challenging about 100 younger people between the ages of, let's say, 35 and 55 to have 2 chairs. Let's start this 2-chair movement. And the 2-chair movement is simple. When whomever comes to your area, when it's time to walk the neighborhoods, you have 2 chairs, one for you and one for them. And you sit them down there and you talk sensibly. And you talk policy, you talk politics, you talk long term, and you talk and make them have to have conversation that you can later hold them accountable for. Because I think that's part of the problem. Like you said, unfortunately, a lot of people may just take somebody like a Mr. Sabas and be looking for things. And small things like fix the road, the hole in front of the road, right out front there.
Right.
Well, why don't let's talk about how come we always have to fix the road every time it rains?
Right.
Could we come up with some tar that rain-proof?
Right.
And island-proof?
Yeah.
They then proof everything else.
Yeah.
Why we can't figure out
You
some
wanna do
island-proof road?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why
Yeah.
we can't have them kind of discussions rather than just be on the surface all the time?
But here's my question, and this is the thing I ask Bahamians all the time. Do you know what in hell do you want? Do you even know what you... Do you know what good policy sounds like?
I know what it is because, for example, let's use the gentleman as a prime example.
His name is Mr. Finkel. James Finkel.
Mr. James.
Yeah.
Mr. Gun-toting James.
Yeah.
Bonanza James.
Gun-wielding. Yeah.
Bonanza James
Yeah.
with 1,000 rounds.
Yeah.
1,000 rounds.
Yeah, that's almost enough to take out the whole immigration department.
1,000 rounds.
Yeah.
First of all, my question is, what is the policy when it comes to having weapons in the Bahamas, especially when you talk about vessels?
You declare them. You get a cruising permit.
Is there a limit?
I have never known of there to be a limit.
Okay, is there a limit? Okay, that's one question. How do you declare when they're going?
We don't.
Okay then.
We just say.
So when they come in, you gotta declare.
We just say.
But when you in the boat gang, it ain't no way for me to know whether the
gun-toting James must he carry all the bullets.
There you go. See, they're the kind of conversation we need to ask.
Sure.
And
but those things require hardware. They require some software. You understand what I'm saying?
We get it.
Yeah.
It's more important for us to get that done to know the fact is, I ride around, after I hear this news, you know me, I like to do things just so that I can have some credibility. I ride around the whole of Nassau looking for a place where they make guns. I ain't find none.
No.
I ain't find not a one.
No.
Not one single place where they make guns. Yeah. So the guns coming in from somewhere.
But the commissioners of police have referred to the gun challenge here as a proliferation.
Okay then. Well, Bonanza.
Yeah.
Mr. Bonanza.
Yeah.
I want to know how much of them gun gone back.
We could call him Finky.
Whatever you want to call him. How much of them gone back?
I don't know, but for many years, in my other life, when I was a younger, more attractive man, I spent time doing harbor patrol, right? As a matter of fact, today, my understanding is we've moved away from harbor patrol. Believe that or not, right? That is the craziest thing I've ever heard. And it is not uncommon to find undeclared rounds. And if you find them, you hand them over to the proper authority, which is guess who? The Department of Customs. Because it's not about the bullet, it's about the revenue. And so you go over there and they pay the revenue, which is the government's concern, and you say, Fingy, man, next time, declare the right amount, okay? Here's your
Are you aware?
false declaration penalty. He probably got that amount of money in his shirt pocket.
Right.
He pays that and he says, oh, I'm so sorry. And it's usually, now I will say this, in my years of having the experience as a boarding officer, what I've found is there is a gap in communication. A lot of these vessels that these rich people purport to own, they do not own.
Right. They lease.
It's owned by a company.
Yeah.
It has a captain.
Yeah.
The captain has
They're on
his inventory.
Charter. They're
Correct.
on charter.
But a lot of times, the family that it's remember Westgate, how while you was living in it was your house. Same concept applies, right?
Yeah.
And so now Finky on this boat, like this is, Finky don't own the boat.
Yeah, but still though.
No, I'm saying, so here's where the disparity comes in. So sometimes you have a situation where you have a new owner on board who didn't declare his rounds to the captain.
Right.
Ultimately, it is and ain't nobody could tell me this ain't happening. I could tell you what I've lived. Cap ain't know these bullets here, which makes it an even more egregious problem.
Right.
Because
exactly.
Cap can't account for when they go missing.
Exactly.
And I've said many times that there has to be a specialty unit that deals with just harbors. Even if we streamline them to harbors in Exuma, which is where weapons go missing all the time and nobody could tell me that I can't confirm that either. Grand Bahama, Abaco, and naturally, New Providence. And this unit should be responsible for nothing other than canine assisted boardings and searchings.
So here's my thing too though. What I'm saying is, based on Brother Bonanza there, shoot him down, kill him down.
Yeah.
You can't miss and bring 1,000 rounds.
No, but the captain of that vessel, if it wasn't the same person, could be aware that those 1,000 rounds ain't were on board.
Again, what I'm saying is, the how, the what, the where, the why, the challenge, the not the challenge, whatever it is, we still need to be holding people accountable.
Agreed.
Here's two things that I'll say to you. One, without saying names, you getting blow up across the water there.
Yeah.
For suspicion of having some
having a passport.
For suspicion.
If somebody invites you to leave Trinidad on anything other than a sailboat, my friend,
and you getting blow up.
Say no.
Right? That's number one.
I don't care what you got.
And number two, based on the fishery laws, if you have 10 live lobster on that same boat with the 2,000 rounds, you could go to jail for the lobster.
See, but it's because the problem is the Bahamas is run like a convenience store.
But we have to change that.
Agreed. But to what? Change it to what? We know what we have.
No.
We like, remember now, we like the boom, ba dum, 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 welcome to the Bahamas, la, la, la. That's what we like, right? We still pretend like we're not living in a country with a murder rate that has steadily stayed at 100 for the last decade and a half. We like to pretend like prostitution isn't real here. We like to pretend like we don't have a drug crisis in this. You see all these people on drugs around here walking up and down in the road? Where you all keep getting all this coke from to go crazy? The point I'm making to you is, at some point, the policymakers have to take pan drum beating Bahamas out of their head and figure out how to run a society that includes vices but regulates them. That includes things like gun carry and regulates it. That includes things like prostitution and regulate it. But because for as long as we continue to ostrich the situation, it won't get any better. We just continue. Okay, so in the instance, or in the, let me tell you what else I've seen in my life. You stand a better chance at going to jail or losing more asset for illegally fishing in the Bahamas than you do for carrying arms.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So if
Somebody-
you,
that can't be right to somebody.
if you throw a fishing line overboard with no bait on it in the exclusive fishery zone, because the act says for there to be any part thereof of a fishing apparatus, that means if only the hook dangling and you ain't clear customs yet, you stand a chance of losing this vessel. But it's because we only care on the revenue side.
But that's what I'm saying. There needs to be a balance as we face all of these ills in our society. There needs to be a balance, and we have to be strong enough as a
Bahamians
people.
have to know. I don't know if you're hearing me correctly. The problem is, Bahamians don't know what that looked like.
Yeah, but then let's figure it out.
Who is the less? If I just tell you, Bahamian.
No. I don't think.
Ask a Bahamian.
Right.
How do they feel about what has been something controversial around here? This happens all the time. Sale of BTC, the Chinese buying Bahama. Bahamians just have they just have the statistics for nothing. When you ask them though, what about Bahama being bought by the Chinese bothers you? They can't tell you. What about Batelco being sold to Cable and Wireless bothered you? They don't know. All they know is they mad. You shouldn't have sell Batelco. Oh God, the country on fire.
But there's enough of us. There's enough of us on the other side of that coin that is smart enough to analyze and to make sure that we are thinking. Sometimes that's what leadership is. Sometimes that's what being taking and being your brother's keeper is that we are asking these questions for the benefit of others. There's a lot of work that you do, there's a lot of work that I do that benefits people who we never met, who we'll never meet, and who will never know that that is what we've done. So what I'm saying is, we have to look at this. There is a great, I mean, it defies description that somebody could come in the Bahamas with countless ammunition.
This is 1,000.
So he bring the max then. So how you know with the max? How you know it's the max?
I don't know. I'm saying.
We gotta do something about this one. But then he'll go to jail for lobster.
But your mind is approaching it from the wrong avenue.
How you mean?
That's what. You are approaching it like it isn't in the Bahamas. In the Bahamas, we care about the revenue.
Yeah, but no, I don't think that's.
This happens. Do you know? I've had people say to me, "Oh, when you're bored, the people both take off your shoe. Take off what shoe? You mean the set Elizabeth Regina give me? You must be a crazy person."
You mean the officer as an officer?
Yes.
You must take off your shoes?
Yes.
You see, that's the kind of things that
But
you have
because
to revolt against.
we play.
How it could be an officer taking off their shoe?
Not the set I get from Elizabeth.
Ah, boy. I wish I could be an officer.
Take off my shoe.
I can't be an honorary officer. Jesus, Lord have mercy.
Boy, you stand a better chance of my foot falling off before
I
I
wish somebody tell an officer you gotta
pick
take
up my
off your shoes.
shoes.
No, but you can't take off those shoes.
And then imagine I
Y'all gotta clean that up.
Imagine I miss and leave the
No,
shoe,
sir.
right?
Yeah.
Where I can tell my
Yeah.
commanding officer
Yeah.
my
Where
shoes
your
is.
shoes is.
You going crazy?
No, man, but I understand. And I hear what you're saying on that side, but I'm saying we have to create balance. We need to be smart enough. We're 52. How old we is now? 52? We're 52 years old now. We need to now explore these things differently. You can't just all revenue. And then revenue and then everybody dead from all these things that coming in from all these other unchecked avenues. And so there needs to be some sort of,
But that's because we live in a country with a spending problem. The Bahamas, okay.
yeah,
so
but let's
do you know people with vices? I always tell people one of the most interesting things to watch is a black man make more money. Because somehow, when he starts making more money, he just simply picks up more dependence. Right? Like you had 2 broke gals when you was making $40,000. You start making $100,000. Now you got 6 broke gals. And you're wondering why you still broke. It's because you're spending. So the Bahamas would rather recruit more police, recruit more defense force, rather than say, hey, where is the beginning of this problem? Your problem ain't you ain't making enough money. Your problem is you really like broke gals.
Yeah, but okay, I understand what you're saying, and there's a lot of truth to what you're saying. But what I'm saying is, these are the kind of discussions that need to happen so that we can address these and go and move a little bit further in the right direction. You're absolutely right. Anybody who's smart, anybody who's intelligent, and I don't think you and I are the most intelligent in the entire Bahamas. Anybody knows simultaneously, as you recruit more police, you should be examining why we even need more police.
Correct.
So those are the kind of things that I'm suggesting that we should look at. And this all comes up, especially as we get ready to have elections, we get ready to have by-elections, we get ready to move into, what is going on with the world globally. The tariffs, for example. Anytime you hear somebody saying that they wake up this morning and they can put more tariffs on this and that, you should then start talking about food sustainability and all these other stuff should be to the forefront of your mind. And so we cannot just sit on our laurels anymore. We don't have that. We don't have that. We don't have that luxury to ignore all of these things that we know that we can fix. It's only 500,000 us,
Right.
This is easy to fix. It ain't like something that is impossible.
All of our crisis is in 10% of the space to be. How are we feeling?
Come on, man.
But again, it's because we can't seem to fix the small stuff. I said, do we have the clip from Ali McIntosh, producer? I see that we can't figure out where the parliament. I know the Constitution says that it should be 39 seats. We can't figure out why. Why did they say this? Should we amend this? Ali saying we need 41. Well, I feel like we need 42 actually, or 43 if you ask me, because I can't understand how one man's supposed to make it through the whole of Golden Isles. And then they like to say things like, well, look at Miami. I want to look at Miami. Tell me how one MP with $100,000 is supposed to cover this whole span and be an effective member of parliament. That's the question I have. But a lot of it, Chef, is on a whim. And that has largely been our problem with governance. We continue to have knee-jerk government. And that's not how you run a country. Let's go to the clip from Ali McIntosh and see more of the problems that we are continuing to have. Why? Because we just do the things now. We do the things that feel good now. We don't have a reason. We just doing them. That's it. Why are we doing this? As soon as you ask them why they doing it, you get the blank Sunday school look. Huh? They can't tell you. And that is my problem. We have the clip? Okay.
One of the things that I hope happens is, in the configuration of this studio, I think we can get 2 more seats over here. Let's plan to make sure that we can have some of them in here for a debate.
Oh boy.
And I won't be in there.
Let's see. Let's see. Anyhow, we get into the Ali clip when we get back from the break. Chef, I have to do the birthday list at some point so the people don't light me on fire.
Yeah.
My auntie Geraldine had a birthday on the 31st of October. My granddaddy turned 100 on the 29th. My daddy would have been 62 on the 30th. Birthdays run rampant in my family in October. Don't move though. Freedom March, I'll be right back after this. This is Freedom March.
This is Freedom March.
Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. I'm Levan Miller. You're listening to us on 103.5 The Beat FM, channel 224. That's on cable, channel 112. That's on Flow, and of course on ILTV Studios over on Facebook, where you should be following us, and I hope you shared it. I'm not saying that for you if you're already here. The sharing piece, I am saying if you are already here, share the page with your friends. You know, like how you always share, man, and things like that? share this page. You like that, Chef?
Nope. I ain't getting in that at all.
Let's go to birthdays, Chef, so these people don't light me on fire, okay? How does that sound?
Birthdays.
All right, so on the birthday list today, we have, who do we have here? Joseph Albury. And it says, happy birthday to my wonderful husband on his 70th birthday. God bless you with many more from your loving wife, Marlene, and children, Tamiko, Tiffany, and RJ. Grandchildren, Austin and Angelo. And then, of course, there's Geraldine Lewis. Happy birthday. Her birthday was on Halloween, by the way. That was Friday? When was it? Friday?
Yeah, Friday gone.
So happy birthday to Geraldine Lewis, whose birthday was on Halloween. From her family, including her wonderful husband, Edmund, her grandchildren, her children, and her extended family. And then there's happy birthday to Jackie Dean on her 78th birthday from her children, Ezra Jr., Mark, who is in Denver, Colorado, Vernon, and last but not least, her only daughter, Yvette. Grands, well then she ain't last. Well then she ain't last. If you had anybody after last, then you ain't last. Okay, Yvette. Grands and great-grands, nieces, nephew, family, friends, and her neighbors. Yeah. So happy birthday, Jackie Dean, on your 78th birthday. You know a picture of Jackie? Oh boy. All right. The Ayatollah of rock and roller, Chef Simeon Hall, is still here with me, Chef. Again, thank you for staying with me here on Freedom March. Yeah?
I don't know how it's getting here, but okay.
Okay, so let's go to the clip with Chester Cooper them talking about the boundaries, right? Because Chester say he think they need 2 more. Ali say she ain't think so. All I'm asking is, how do we keep coming up with these? What is the rubric? What is the formula? How do we decide? When do we decide? What triggers the decision? Who all need to be there? How much, you know what I mean? How much times we have to make the decision? You can't wake up and because you eat a piece of pork chop, you say, oh, we need 2 more seats. And mind you, I think Chester Cooper is quite intelligent, and I'm sure, well, I'm not sure, but I assume that he has some formula in his mind. But then I see Ali McIntosh saying, quite to the contrary, we don't need 2 more seats. And I mean, I hope she also has a formula in her mind. All I'm saying is, tell us
What the formula is.
what the formula
either
is.
side.
Yeah, so that we
More
can
or
know.
less. Yeah.
Yeah, well, how we come into these conclusions. So let's go to a clip from Chester Cooper.
While Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper tight-lipped tonight on boundary changes as the Golden Isles constituency heads into a by-election. The area said to be the largest with close to 8,000 registered voters. Cooper says a proposed report will be submitted to the nation's leader this week, and it comes as there continues to be growing speculation on boundaries being withdrawn from a few constituencies in an effort to prioritize equitable representation in Parliament.
We're submitting our changes to, proposed changes to the Prime Minister this week. It's a proposal. The Prime Minister will receive that this week and determine next steps. That's all I'm prepared to say.
And so, it sounded to me like the way you figure out if the boundary needs changing is you become Prime Minister.
So what is the nation's policy on boundary changes?
That there shouldn't be, what is it, more than 6,000 people or something like that in the boundary, or that there must be that the boundaries should shift in a line with the population shift.
So if it's more than 6,000, then it should be examined.
Well, several of them are over 6,000.
So it should be
Kalani
examined.
is, Golden Isles is. I think at last check, Carmichael is slightly over 6,000. That shocked me. I thought Carmichael would have been 10,000. But Carmichael has an interesting
Demographics.
dynamic,
Yeah.
which is it's a commercial
Yeah.
neighborhood, kind of Palmdale, right?
Yeah.
So it's always busy, but no one lives there.
Yeah.
But Ali McIntosh responded, and she disagrees with the Deputy Prime Minister, again, by some invisible rubric that only her and the pork chop know about, because none of them tell us, right? And so the story says, let me read it for you. Leader of the Bahamas Constitution Party, where did it go? Leader of the Bahamas Constitution Party, Ali McIntosh, has criticized the possible addition of more seats to the Bahamas Parliament. Her comments come amid rumors that the Boundaries Commission has recommended at least 2 more seats to the Parliament, bringing the total number of constituents to 41, if the recommendation is accepted. In a statement to the media, McIntosh said that while population growth and equitable representation are vital considerations, expanding Parliament is neither necessary nor a wise course at this juncture in our nation's development. At a time when Bahamian families face rising costs of living, a strained healthcare system, and high energy bills, the people do not need more politicians. They need more productivity, more prudence, and more progress.
So, but then that looks at it.
None of that is a metric.
Yeah, but it also looks at it from a parliamentary point of view and not a neighborhood point of view. She's talking about the representation as it pertains to people being in the actual house.
Yeah, no.
Me worrying about.
But the Constitution speaks to that. The Constitution speaks to
Yeah, that's why it says 6,000.
There shall be no less than 38, I think it says, right?
Yeah.
Which is what it was, and then Mr. Christie brought it back to 39. All right?
But that's what I'm saying, though. Her argument is about having more politicians, but representation is also very necessary because, like you said, in a constituency that is overgrown, how do I get represented properly?
Right.
If the area is just too big and too populated.
Correct. And I think so you have to also factor in like Michael, which I think is the best test case, right? 12 of them live down there, but they live on 5 Island.
Right.
The member of parliament for Meguana is equally the member of parliament for Long Key, and he has to go and see his people.
Right.
It don't matter that all 12 of them can't have one phone call and say, listen, why the 12 of us don't move to one island? Because they don't want to do that. They want to live on their separate islands.
Right.
Let's even go to the Prime Minister's constituency, right? The Prime Minister's constituency consists of 3 islands. Let's talk about the major island in the constituency, Kid Island, right? You ever been to Kid Island, my brother?
No, I ain't been there in a while.
Artists, people live in Artistown.
Yeah.
And then people live on the beach in Devil's Point.
Yeah.
Right? And God help you if you have to go like places like Hawks Nest and them, because they even ain't on no end. They like down these little awkward pathways, which some of it is actual dirt road, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Most of the people who are from Kid Island refuse to like just
let's meet in the middle.
No, they want to live
where they
in
live.
the far-flung corners of the island.
Yeah.
Right? And there are parts of the island where you have about 6 miles of nothing. Nothing. But Kid Islanders want to live where they live.
Yeah.
Now imagine this man has to go from Orange Creek to Devil's Point. I'm telling you, he cannot campaign that in 1 week. Then he have to get on a plane and go to San Salvador. Well, he probably could do the whole of San Salvador in about 3 days. Because you know San Salvador is just one big roundabout, right? One big roundabout with water in the middle.
Yeah.
And then he has to get on another plane and go to Rumkey. 64 of them live there. They could just they can have a candlelight vigil and invite everybody on the island, right? But I'm saying you have to consider that.
Right.
As to whether or not it is going to continue to be feasible for one person to be expected to represent this whole thing.
Yeah, for representation purpose.
Even if 12 of them there. Because 12 of them are still, they're no less Bahamians.
Yeah.
And they still require representation at the seat of power.
Then that's what I'm saying. It's more about the boots on the ground representation rather than the amount of people who in Parliament rowing.
Right.
So we have to be mindful of that in the consideration, and that's why the DPM was talking about what he was saying.
The other thing
you got to consider it.
The other thing that comes to my mind is Bimini. For a long time, many people were from a school of thought that Bimini did not need its own representation. Have you ever been there?
Yeah.
I could tell you, in the last 10 years, my friend, Bimini might very well need its own seat. The economy is robust. There are people everywhere, and at some point there has to become some town planning considerations.
Yeah.
Because Bimini is at her capacity.
Right.
You might actually need the next Minister of Works to come from Bimini. Because he might need to spend some specific attention there, because the roads are too small now, and the power is insufficient now.
Yeah.
And what are we doing with all this waterway? What are we going to do about more dockage? There's not a time that you go to Bimini and they don't have yachts parked everywhere.
Yeah.
You have to lend consideration to that.
Yeah.
And it cannot be an appendage. Bimini now, in my view, has to be a standalone constituency. They certainly have the money.
Yeah, and so when we having these conversations, it needs to be more about emotional conversation between two politicians versus the business of where we need to be in the future, where we are now, and how we need to get there. So again, don't just throw it away because the norm is we don't need no more. We need to look at why we're saying we need more.
This is also why the politicians must show us the formula.
Yeah.
How did Chester come to 41? Why not 43?
Yeah.
Because if you ask me, I think Bimini should be a standalone seat. I think Michael should get broken into 2, right? So that's 2 more seats right off the bat. Kalani should be broken into 2. That's 3. I think Golden Eye should be broken into 2. That's 4, right?
Yeah, but I know we got no formula now. They.
I'm just saying, Chef, you can't keep pulling policy out the air.
But that's what and that's why, again, that's what they there for.
But you
they policy makers.
But you also, so where the Bahamian policymaker is, Chef, is in a quandary, to state it mildly. Sometimes you have no formula, right? But you have a mercurial electorate, because the same people who come out and say, for God's sake, take us out of marijuana, Wednesday, want to throw hot water on the government Sunday, because the government can't take them right, as if the plane don't need somewhere to land.
Yeah, they won't go right back.
This is an evacuation exercise, my friend.
Right back.
Beloved, sometimes when you evacuate, people that were evacuated in Katrina and all them, some of them people take months to go back home.
Yeah, they ain't not them.
But Bahamians have this colicky kind of feel towards politicians. And it's crazy because if you have to keep that kind of a person happy, my friend, you're not going to be doing well.
Yeah. Definitely is one of those things that we need to look at and explore and figure out, like you said, what is the formula? What is the why? How are we getting to the less or the more, or keep it to the same? We need to have these in sort of intelligent conversations.
Politicians cannot rely, in my view, on the Bahamian. Today, Eyewitness News did a poll. Do you think the seats should increase? Yes or no? Overwhelmingly, the answer is no. It's too much of them.
It's too much of them.
What formula are you using?
Oh yeah, why? Just based on bodies.
No, and here's the thing. And Bahamians have to become comfortable with people receiving salaries for working.
Yeah.
One of the craziest things I see, Chef, is when scandals break out that people are paid to work overseas. Have you ever traveled for work?
Yes, of course.
You know how stressful that is.
Yeah.
You realize that there's nothing luxurious about traveling for work.
Yeah,
and even if you get a luxurious hotel, beloved, if you do more than 3 hours in it, God is the God of Jacob and Isaac. And
I know about that. I've done many of those.
So what are these people talking about? Should we send the man away to live in a shanty town? What exactly should we do with him? And so Bahamians have to evolve.
Yeah.
In their expectation, in their thinking, in their desire So it's one thing to blame the politician, you know. Although I think many of them are somewhere lost in La La Land with a unicorn, right? The Bahamian electorate has a responsibility. You have to make yourself red enough so that when politician Joe Blogs come to sit in your front room, you at least know. You can't just say, we need change. Quantify that for me.
Yeah.
I don't like what I see. Qualify that for me. Oh, look at the young men now. Okay, they're young.
But that's what I'm saying. Let's start with the ones that I know can have these conversations. We can't all let them just get away with just the rhyme and the reason of the political season. We have to make sure that there are at least several dozen of us that are helping to have that challenging conversation. And those conversations go beyond just the benefit of me and you. They could be far-reaching.
Okay.
And I think if they know that that is coming, it will be a part of what the political landscape is getting ready to activate once those stuff come. Because, again, the majority of people, they can put on a park and everybody can wear the shirt and this and that, and they can hoorah. But there needs to be at least several dozen that are going to have these sorts of conversations and challenge them, whether it be on air, off air, whether it be in a small forum, whether it be wherever it is. We need to at least start so that we can have these intelligent conversations, which, by the
And
way,
they have to be
end up
unbiased.
benefiting
They have to
everybody.
be unbiased,
Of course.
Which means I'm not prepared to hear the voice of a talking piece.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And don't get me wrong, I am very comfortable with people being paid for their skill set. So if you have a fella that communicates best in the group and you want to pay him, I have no difficulty with that.
Yeah.
What I have a difficulty with is when the currency could change the chorus.
Right.
Yeah? If I come here to sing the Hallelujah chorus, my brother, you might could pay me not to sing it in the chord F. You could probably even get away with getting me to sing the Hallelujah chorus to a Calypso beat. You could pay for it. But be you rest assured, I am coming here to sing the Hallelujah chorus. Yeah?
But again, that's exactly what I'm saying. But we need to start challenging people to put these sorts of things in place so that when the time comes, we can have these sorts of conversation. It can't be we just... One of the things that I don't think is good for any country, anything, whether it be a relationship, a partnership, or anything, is when you stand aside and do nothing. My dad says it all the time. Evil prospers when?
Good men do nothing.
And so we need to start doing some things. The one thing I always thought about, you know why I became who I was and why I now seek to be as a great a polymath as possible, is because I don't want to leave this earth and the question be asked, what did I do?
Yeah.
And I can't say that I did nothing.
Absolutely.
So I'm saying, with all of your smarts, my smarts, the rest of the people's smarts, let's get a chair and make sure that they pull up and have to have these conversations.
And to the smart
because they
people.
need to be heard.
Or to the people who believe, or if you've had at least 10 people tell you you're smart in the last 5 months, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Go into the spaces and speak. Because sometimes your voice, the vibration of your voice, is all it takes to get things done. Now, I'm letting you leave here with all the easy stuff. I got one hard one for you. Let's go to the clip from the Junkanoo community and see what's going on over there. Because, producer, I don't know. I feel like between now and Christmas, if Jesus don't come, the Junkanoo people might burn pay street to the ground or something to that effect. Because I don't understand. We have the clip, producer. I don't understand how we get here, right? I see Dougie Hanna them come back. I ain't sure what that mean. I see the JCNP. They say, man, y'all could have whatever y'all want. Junkanoo is Junkanooing with us. And all I'm saying is, Junkanoo ain't none of y'all own. Regrettably, Junkanoo belongs to the Bahamian people. Now, I know you beat the bass drum, tell your boys blood out your prostate. The boy, listen, we needed a sacrificial lamb. Your country thanks you. I know you shake cowbell, tell you blister your finger and it boys. a grateful nation sends its regards. I know you blow whistle, tell you pop your larynx. Listen, His Majesty is pleased with your service. But the spirit of Junkanoo is ours.
Right.
Yeah. You are the sacrifice or the sacrificial lamb. And you know something? 20 years from today, we will give you a little medal to dangle off your coat suit that'll be too big. Right? But the spirit is ours. And so the squabble, I don't care what y'all do. Y'all don't break up our things. That's what I want to say. Let's go to the clip.
Meantime, Junkanooers seemingly torn on the announcement by the JCMP. One executive member of the Way Forward Valley Boys criticizing the JCMP for what he's describing as a failure to accurately and intentionally address the needs of the corporation.
This is about the NJC, not the JCMP. What the JCMP has shown us in the last year, it's very divisive. Its intentions are absolutely not for the development of the culture. You simply ask them what they've done in schools and the development of the culture at an art form outside of this politicizing something as simple and as pure as Junkanoo. So we support the NJC. We're happy to see where the NJC is going, and that's definitely what the Valley Boys will be supporting come Christmas.
Okay, so will the group be participating in the JCMP parades as well?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We will be participating in the NJC's parade, which will be on Bay Street, which is the one supported by the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, not any side parade which the JCMP chooses to do simply because the government will not allow them to do things, any way they see fit.
And so I say, right, the JCNP is the people who've been governing Junkanoo for the last 20 years. It was a creature created by the Christie administration, and it worked well. And it worked phenomenally well. The question I have is, did it evolve? Because I know you're the JCNP, but the Bahamas ain't nothing NP. You following me? The JCNP is the Junkanoo something of New Providence, right? I'm saying to you, it should have never been that. Because the Bahamas ain't the nothing of New Providence. You with me? I gotta get one amen in this corner. Any concept of Junkanoo that didn't consider Machu Town wasn't big enough. And mind you, it could have been over 25 years, because guess where we are now? On the cusp of 25 years. Any concept involving Junkanoo that didn't consider Treasure Key wasn't big enough. If it ain't considered Landrell Point, it wasn't big enough. And so Mr. Christie, I tell people this, Mr. Christie will go down as probably one of the most brilliant human beings this country has ever seen. Christie conceptualizes very well. But Christie is good at giving you the bare bone product. When Christie give that to you, you gotta take it in a room. No, and you gotta speak to it like the prophet. And you gotta command them dry bones to come to life. But there can be no life except you have the bones. You will get that from Christie. Christie knows what he wants, He just can't tell it to you. You follow me? And this is what I've noticed through all of his policy making. BAMZ, JCNP, do you name it? Christie know what the end should look like. He just can't draw you a map on how to get to that. Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival. All conceptions of Christie. And I'm saying to you that maybe the JCNP fell in a state of I don't want to say comatose. Maybe can I call them lethargic? Maybe they became lethargic and thought that they had reached the pinnacle. When there is so much more Junkanoo that could be had. It cannot be a national parade and be an NP anything. And I know what they would say, the Family Island Committee or Family Island parades are judged by another body and and that might have been the problem. What may have happened is by now, we should have had a Junkanoo Congress of the Bahamas. I see the government is pushing a Junkanoo authority, but the authority should, in partnership, work with the Junkanoo Congress of the Bahamas. Because it can't be NP nothing if it for the Bahamas. We in Jamaica.
Yeah.
We in Haiti or Cuba. It just so happened God take a hammer and make the Bahamas.
Yeah.
And we have to continue policy making like that, Chef.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you that the average politician sitting in his front room, or in the front room, of somebody that he have to beg to vote for him, can't tell him what they want to see with regards to Junkanoo. All they know is, break up Junkanoo. How? They can't tell you. What you want to see? They can't tell you.
Well, so we having Junkanoo this year? That's what I want to know.
They can't tell you.
So you know Junkanoo that?
No, we're breaking up for you, brother. Oh boy. Anyway, you got to jingle the show.
Boy,
Chef, we owe the time. We owe the show. We owe the time.
All right.
Thank you for joining us here on Freedom March. You've been listening to us on 103.5 The Beat FM. And we'll see you right here again tomorrow.